is unaltered. Launching short, violent attacks from close range, they utilize their bulk to overpower prey. Sinking in their long, retractable claws, they employ their muscular forelimbs and shoulders to pull down their quarry before finishing the job with powerful jaw hunters. Scanning the open African skies for the circling vultures that indicate fresh kill, lions have no compunctions when it comes to stealing carcasses from other predators. The only cats to live in groups, the lion pride is a family unit with distinctive roles for each member. Encumbered by their heavy manes, males are inefficient hunters. Thus, the majority of hunting duties falls to the lionesses. While the cubs are free to play and learn from their elders, the male's role is to defend their pride's territory, which can extend for hundreds of kilometers. Around 10,000 years ago, lions were among the most widespread land mammals on the planet, second only to humans. Today, the African grassland is one of their remaining strongholds, and this habitat is under threat of human expansion. Local enforcement of anti-hunting laws has proven successful in preserving lion numbers, but the savanna itself must be protected in order to fully serve these kings of the wild. In the wide open world of the African veldt, the required to sustain their frames means that elephants must spend around 20 hours every day grazing, consuming hundreds of kilos of vegetation in the process. Perhaps the elephant's greatest adaptation to their environment is their brain. Highly intelligent, elephants have the largest brain of any land animal. As long-lived animals, the elephant's famous long memory is a vital asset, guiding herds through times of drought by recalling the location of distant water and food sources unvisited in decades. The complex social bonds of elephant herds are also served by complex brain functions, allowing behaviors associated with grief, humor, and possibly even language. One adaptation that has not served the elephant well is their tusks. Used to clear debris, dig for food, and in fighting, these elongated teeth are made of ivory and are highly valued by humans. Hunting for ivory decimated African elephant populations until restrictions on the international ivory trade stopped the decline. Today, there are positive signs, with elephant numbers stabilizing, but poachers continue to threaten elephants, and constant vigilance is required to protect them. Throughout this sprawling grassland environment, across the open plains, over the undulating hills, and amongst the outspread shrubland, the most abundant big game species is the wildebeest. Receiving their name from Dutch settlers, noting their resemblance to wild cattle, wildebeest are members of the antelope family. And while they are the preferred prey of many grassland species, particularly lions, wildebeests are no easy target. Coated in tough hide, the wildebeest is capable of speeds of 80 kilometers an hour and has the stamina to outpace big cats. With adults weighing up to 250 kilograms and armed with vicious horns, these wild cattle are more than equipped to contend with predators that stalk them through the grassland habitat. But their real strength is in numbers. Herd animals, wildebeests have developed behavioral adaptations to maximize their defense. Alternating roles of guard duty and sleeping, wildebeest herds are vigilante 24 hours a day. When threatened, the herd selflessly protects its youngest and most vulnerable members by closing ranks around them. Wildebeests have also developed collaborative relationships with other grassland creatures. Joining forces with zebras, they form mixed grazing groups in open savanna, simultaneously increasing their collective awareness whilst decreasing each individual's chance of being attacked. Highly attuned to the sounds of the savanna, wildebeests are keenly aware of the alarm calls from tree-dwelling birds and baboons, an early warning system telling them it's time to move. And moving is what wildebeests do best. Every year, herds in their hundreds of thousands come together for a defining event of the African grassland and one of the world's most spectacular natural phenomenons, the Great Migration. Chasing the rains of the savanna's wet season, they head northward in search of greener pastures in a ground-trembling mass movement sweeping inexorably across the plains. Stalked all the while by their usual grassland predators, they must also contend with several major river crossings through crocodile-infested waters. And while the migration may look disorderly, researchers have discovered there is a swarm intelligence to the transit. With a shared goal that will benefit the entire herd, the animals are able to repeat tests of trial and error in order to collectively overcome the obstacles that lie in their path. Successful migrations require connected wilderness corridors across the African continent, and human developments such as roads and fences create new barriers every year. Yet there is evidence that the collective intelligence of wildebeests is adapting to this human influence, with migration pathways ranging wider to avoid human encroachment. Beyond the big cats that hunt them, there is another threat to wildebeests, namely agriculture. Competing with livestock over grazing rights and blamed for spreading disease amongst domesticated cattle, wildebeest numbers have decreased rapidly in recent years, as they are fenced out of traditional feeding areas and migration pathways. However, wildebeest grazing habits are known to be increasing soil fertility while decreasing fire risk on the savanna, and both farmers and conservationists recognize that wildebeests are needed to sustain the valuable grassland ecosystem. In an environment characterized by its wide open spaces, speed is a highly prized asset. But even in the fastest, in the unforgiving savanna, life is never easy. As the fastest land-based animal, the cheetah has evolved purely for speed, regularly clocking sprints of over 90 kilometers an hour. But acceleration is one thing, and control is another. So while cheetahs may be famous for their speed, it is actually their agility that is the secret to their success on the veldt. Rare among the cat family, semi-retractable claws grant traction through the grassland as the cheetah swivels its narrow waist for high-speed maneuvers, the elongated tail acting as a rudder for stabilization. One of the smallest of the big cats, the thin-framed cheetah can only target medium-sized prey and is poorly equipped to defend itself. Losing around 50% of their kills to the many larger predators of the veldt, cheetahs have had to make behavioral modifications to survive. Hunting in the morning or late afternoon to avoid competition, cheetahs eat their kill immediately to maximize feeding time before for now they continue to scrape by. The abundant and diverse life that inhabits the African grassland has developed a range of adaptations to thrive in winning these contests. Could it be selective breeding that is driving the growth of the giraffe's neck? The giraffe's height affords them a very particular perspective over the immense plains of the savanna, but it is their heart that allows them to stand so tall. Weighing 11 kilograms, the massive giraffe heart races at 150 beats per minute, twice the rate of humans, in order to pump blood to the extremities of these extreme bodies. Displaying a distinct preference for the hardy and wide-ranging acacia tree, giraffes are well adapted to feeding in both the wet and dry seasons of the savanna. Grasping foliage with their elongated, tongues, they consume around 34 kilograms of vegetation daily. Giraffes also get the majority of their liquid from the leaves they eat. This means that they only need to drink every 3 days or so, minimizing the risk of attack from crocodiles and other predators around the savanna's waterholes. Giraffes do not directly compete with livestock and are able to coexist with agriculture in a way that many other wild animals cannot. On the continent of Africa, we have seen the lion, the elephant, the wildebeest, the cheetah, and the giraffe. And environment hangs in the balance ecosystem. Africa's commitment to preserving the savanna and its inhabitants through nature reserves is a crucial first step, but it is a global effort that is required to ensure the future of this extraordinary and fragile